Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Kev from the gym. Another quick video breaking down Joe Joyce versus Filip Hrgovic. Big fight coming up this Saturday up in Manchester. It's a fight I'm really excited about, and we're just going to touch on some of the keys to victory and how I see this fight going. Firstly, I won't even lie, I do have some concerns about Joe Joyce. I really do, and let me show you why. Check this out. This is why I'm concerned about Joe Joyce. Look at this.
Let's make the fight, man. Like, I need to get back in the gym, and I'm coming for it, man. Joe, pleasure as
Crazy.
yeah. Well, let's make the fight, man. Like, I need to get back in the gym, and I'm coming for it, man.
He literally freezes mid-interview. Yeah, as he's collecting his thoughts, he's processing his thoughts in mid-conversation, his brain freezes and he completely spaces out. Look, to me, that's very, very worrying. Okay, if someone's giving signs like that, their brain's sort of shutting off mid-conversations, and it looks like there's some cognitive decline, yeah, and his brain is slowing down. Is how it looks. And this isn't the only interview like that. There's been a couple where he's sort of spaced out mid-conversation. The signs will suggest that something's going on there. And you probably say the way that he fights, you know, it lends itself to that sort of damage. He was known as the juggernaut, walking through everyone, taking shots on his face. That was sort of his defense. And eventually that can have an accumulative effect. You know, it can do long-lasting damage over time, and you only see the effects of it over time. Now, this is an area that I'm passionate about, and it's an area that I'm quite well researched in. When I was in law school doing my master's, I actually did a dissertation on this very topic, and it was around second impact syndrome, it's called, and there are other names for it, but effectively it talks about the effect of a second concussion. What you find is when people have head trauma in sports like boxing or other contact sports, typically it's not the first concussion, it's not the first instance of injury that causes long-lasting damage. Usually it's the second impact. And what you'd find is that a lot of people would have a concussion either through a tough fight, maybe they've been stopped in a bout, or they've had hard sparring. They don't necessarily realize that they're injured and properly concussed. They then go back into another fight or more contact sparring sooner than they should without having the proper rest time, and they get a second concussion. And typically it's that second impact injury that causes severe long-lasting damage on, you know, on your long-term health. And, you know, I'm sure Joe Joyce has the right people around him. Of course, the board of control have, you know, appropriate doctors that are going to do their medical checks, and he's obviously medically cleared to fight. You know, I'm not going to say that anyone's negligent around him, but I just don't like what I'm seeing. I really don't like what I'm seeing. Right, let's look at some of Joe Joyce's highlights. Joe Joyce was always at his best when he was coming forward, plodding forward with his aggressive style, effectively just walking through his boxes. You see here, I'm going to skip along because I don't want to get copyrighted, but you see he's always on the front foot. He's taking shots to land his, always pushing his opponent back, relentless pressure, come forward. Look, I'll just move it along. Same style, no matter who his opponent was, he used to fight the same way. Come forward, I'll take your shots, you won't be able to take mine. Eventually, I'm going to get through you in the later rounds, get to you and get you out of there. And you see it here, all the way through, come forward, front foot pressure. Now, to me, this Joe Joyce, the Joe Joyce of old with that style, in my opinion, would have been a complete nightmare for Hrgovic. The Joe Joyce of a couple of years ago, okay, his style, his pressure, his relentlessness, his fitness, his chin at the time, all of that would have been nightmares for Hrgovic. And I would have picked Joe Joyce 10 times out of 10 to completely walk through Hrgovic and stop him at the back end of the fight. And the reason why I say that is because we've seen Hrgovic, his performances, he starts off fast and he always, for whatever reason, fades towards the latter end of fights. It just seems like he's not interested. He'll just sort of lose his confidence, looks like he doesn't want to be in there. We saw that against Zile Sang. We saw that in Daniel Dubois' fight. We've seen that in a couple of his fights, Hrgovic. He starts off early, and if for whatever reason, he doesn't look like he's getting you out of there, it would just seem to lose interest, is how it feels. I won't pull up clips of Hrgovic because, as I said, I don't want to get copyrighted. But if you just look at his bout against Zhilei Zhang, look at his bout against Daniel Dubois, look at some of his other bouts, even against Dempsey McKean, he starts off sharp, starts off fast, aggressive, very technically gifted early on. And for whatever reason, the second half of the fight, he just loses interest. It looks like he doesn't want to be there. It looks like he's not bothered. And for me, Joe Joyce of old a couple of years ago would have completely demolished Hrgovic on that basis. He just would have walked through him and got to him late. However, this is not Joe Joyce of old, in my opinion. He's not the same boxer. He's not the same fighter. We do see when someone's known for having a granite chin or being, very, very tough and durable, once that's shattered a little bit, it's very, very hard to come back from. And in my opinion, what Hrgovic is very good at in terms of starting very fast, being extremely accurate, being very, very fast with his hands. He's got very quick hands, particularly with the straight punches. I just think he's going to land that will early on with Joe Joyce. And I'm not sure that this Joe Joyce that we have now is going to be able to withstand that early onslaught to be able to get into the back end of the fight. And I hope I'm wrong, because I would love for Joe Joyce to win this bout and put himself back in there, because I think he deserves some big paydays that he probably would have went on to get had it not been for the Zhilei Zhang fight. But I just can't see how for the first 4, 5, 6 rounds when Hrgovic is teeing off on him, I can't see how Joe Joyce is going to withstand that. As I say, his defense is not great, Joe Joyce. It used to be he'll just take shots clean on his chin. I don't want to say that he hasn't got a chin anymore, but what I will say is that, once you're not as durable, if that's your only defense, it's going to be tough for you to get out of the first 6 rounds against someone like Hrgovic. Now, if it does go past 6 rounds, and fingers crossed it does for Joe Joyce's sake, Joe Joyce can win, and he can win quite comfortably because, like I said, Hrgovic, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a mindset issue, if he's just not interested, if it's a fitness thing, but second half of fights, he just doesn't want to be in there. But my concern is that I'm not sure we even get into the second half of the fight. So my prediction officially is Filip Hrgovic early. I think the first 4 to 6 rounds, I think he's just going to be too fast with his hands, too accurate. Filip Hrgovic himself has got a great chin. In my opinion, he's probably got one of the best chins in heavyweight boxing right now, between him and Daniel Dubois, probably. Hrgovic has got a great chin. So you'll never really see him hurt. The only time he's ever in trouble is just when he's disinterested and when you sort of break his heart. But you're not really gonna hurt him with a one punch. And Joe Joyce isn't a concussive one punch, power puncher. Anyways, he's more cumulative, heavy-handed, but it's combinations and he sort of wears you down. To me, he's going to be too slow. He hasn't got enough pop to hurt Hrgovic in that way. His only chance is if he drags him in late and breaks his heart. But I just think that Hrgovic is going to be too accurate early on, and Joe Joyce probably isn't the same that he was. In order to take, he won't be able to sort of take all of those punches. So for me, I've got it probably 65-35 in Hrgovic's favor, maybe even 70-30, which is a shame to say because 2 years ago, when everyone was saying Joe Joyce was the next George Foreman, I kind of understood why. And I believe that Joe Joyce, had he not boxed Zhilei Zhang at the time, that Joe Joyce would have walked through Hrgovic and stopped him late. But we don't have the same Joe Joyce, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's just my take, coach's perspective, just from how I see it. I'd love to be wrong, and I want Joe Joyce to pull it out of the bag. Got a lot of love for him, got a lot of love for his team. So, fingers crossed for him. But that's just my prediction, short breakdown. Kev from the gym, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. We're trying to boost the content, trying to boost the profiles, boost the platform, getting the algorithm, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, if you like the video, show some love, comments, feedback, critique. We're all learning. I'm new to this sort of thing. Just a boxing coach who likes to talk about boxing. So we'll leave it as that. If you like the video, Peace.